Hello and welcome to the Real Gary Tussey Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything that could ever amount to anything or everything to anybody and everybody who ever intends to amount to something. We'll be right back. Well, I don't care how many people may have insulted you, how many people have bullied you, how many people have thought that, well, you don't amount to anything. I'm telling you, I'm here to remind you, you do. And your worth is, the value of your worth can go up if you begin to realize some just simple little things, beginning with your surroundings, your environment, what you feed yourself in your mind and your spirit every day, the people you choose to hang with. Somebody said one time, I saw that T-shirt the other day. It was so funny. Ha, ha, ha. That how can I soar like an eagle when I'm surrounded by turkeys? And then they take it like, it is a joke. And it is a joke. It's somewhat of a joke, but I'm going to tell you, that's almost gospel, because you have got to hang around the people who will contribute to your success. Let me tell you another little breaking news point here. You need to hang around people who celebrate your existence instead of tolerate you. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. You're a big deal, baby. And there are people who will acknowledge the fact that you're a big deal and you are worth the investment of somebody's time to speak into your life and to help you become all that you are intended to be. That's how this country was founded. A group of men, and obviously they had women influencing them too, but a group of men established this country known as the United States of America by one thing: understanding the innate potential in the human being, the individual rights and privileges of a human being, and what can happen when they live and let live, when they're free and make other people free, and they apply a high energy pursuit to, daggone it, I'm going to be happy. You may not kiss a girl leaning away from you. You may not climb a fence. You will not climb a fence leaning towards you. You will not roller skate in a cow pasture, but you can be happy. And we have so much going for us in this country. We originate this program from the Tussey Music and Entertainment Studios in Richmond, Kentucky, in Madison County. Some of you, as this podcast goes out, you're watching globally. That's wonderful. We're so glad to have you on board. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of greatness just right here in this little town we call Richmond. And we appreciate all those who are with us every day. I do not produce a podcast without a live feed to Facebook. This is just how I saw how we need to do our production for our podcast, and we keep a line open for our friends to call in if they have something to contribute or something to say on the program. So here we are. We started on the last podcast talking about the absolute, it is important that when you invest anything in your life, let me say it again, when you invest anything in your life, time, money, energy, all of these things, when you invest into your life, that you get a return. If you're in a situation in your life, these are things that definitely compromise your happiness. If you're in a situation in your life where all you do is give, and you're not getting anything in return, you're not. You will become depleted and you will become depressed on a daily basis. You have got to be refreshed and reset, and you got to be happy in yourself. When you are happy and strong and healthy in yourself, that is going to translate, or let me say it, I'd rather say it like this, that is going to communicate, or that is going to become, I call it a communicable ease. We talk about communicable diseases all the time. Well, you were created by your creator to be a communicable ease, to take a load off people and be the answer. You're always looking for answers in your own life. I want to encourage you in this. Sometimes you are the answer someone else is looking for. Now, there's some challenges that face us in the day and the hour we live in. And, an interesting thing, I've always believed this and always thought this. I'm not here by accident. I don't live where I live by accident. I'm not in this time slot of history by accident. And so the two things have to happen, and that is I have to react and I have to act. I encourage you to put more energy in your proactive, in taking charge and having control in your life than constantly. If you live today and you lived yesterday and you live today and your life is a life of reaction, you're not going to be living to the full impact of happiness that you are created by your Creator to create, and you will not create. You will be stifled in creativity if you're not happy. So we're doing our best to help get you happy and keep you happy. The Real Gary Tussey live Facebook, Real Gary Tussey podcast as we're producing right now. So some things that make people not happy, and I want to bring awareness to this, is to invest and invest and invest and not get a return on their investment. Somebody says, well, money's not important. Well, they lied when they said that, because it is important. I mean, even Jesus said, make friends of unrighteous mammon. Jesus very well knew, of course he knows everything, very well knew that money is filthy, but it's not evil. Loving money's evil. Money in itself isn't evil. Great things that need to be done in society is going to be done in your life because you have money. But we're looking at college degrees that have been paid major amounts of money to get, that when you're out after a 4 or 6 year degree, because some of these take not only a 4-year degree, but take a master's after that, that once you've invested all that, just doesn't make any money when you're done. And this is just a reality check. This is Real Gary Tussey, so we're just being real about it. So we already listed, I'm on a site that, and I read some sites that had 25 of the worst majors if you're expecting to make any money once you've invested in it. Another one was 10 things. But I'm on one that lists 8 things that are just like, okay, good, you got a degree, but don't expect to make any money. Number 6 on this list is education. Teaching, one of the most noble professions, and while it stands to reason we'd pay great sums to choose to the chosen few who shape the minds of future generations, it doesn't quite work out that way. And that is exactly right. And you know what? If our teachers aren't happy, how's that going to translate? How's that going to communicate to developing minds? And yeah, I said that. If you get a teaching degree or an education degree for the money, don't fool yourself. Now, if you're called to be a teacher and you're going to get out, or an educator and you're going to get out and you're going to work in that field, don't fool yourself in thinking, yeah, and I'm going to be rich doing it. No, statistically you are not. And having said that, that's okay, because what makes it okay is you realize this going in. Before the 4 and 6 years invested in becoming an educator, you knew when you graduated you weren't going to make any money. So you either need to have a spouse that does make money, or, these are just options. Don't throw anything at me. Or you need to have another income. And other incomes are fine. As a matter of fact, who in the world said that the standard operating procedure is having one job? Guess what? You've got time to have another job, one that actually makes money. You know what I tell people that I do? I do what I have to do so I can do what I want to do. And I enjoy all of it. And I believe that would be a good rule of thumb for many of us. And that is just simply, you know what? I would rather probably invest my time doing that, but it doesn't really pay. It's my passion. It pays some. It's blah, blah, blah. But, I'm also talented and gifted at this. I'll stick with it. And I'm going to do what I have to do so I can afford to do what I want to do. So education is not a good major to come out of college thinking you're going to put food on the table. The median income salary for a daycare teacher is less than $30,000. An elementary school teacher in the 50,000s. Actually says $52,000. A high school teacher, $54,000. Wow. Another not lucrative majors. And I do realize these are, people do consider a lot of these as a calling. Isn't that sweet? I mean, that's so romantic. I do it as a call. It still doesn't mean it can't be productive, right? But you got to be happy. And if you know these things going in, it'll contribute to your happiness. Religious studies and theology, religious educators make less than $50,000 a year. Chaplains make $50,000 a year. Associate pastors, $60,000 a year. Number 4 of the 8 worst majors, hospitality and tourism. I'm sorry. I got friends in all these things. I feel so bad. Hospitality and tourism, planning events. Now, you know what is interesting? There is no harm. I'm going to say this again. There's no harm in having more than one job, particularly when you love them all and you want to do what keeps you interested and keeps other people interested, right? Because there's energy that kind of bounces off each other in doing that. Hospitality is ranked number 4 among the worst majors in college for your investment. Median salary for an event planner is $55,000. Hotel resident manager, $65,000. These sound like a lot of money until you start breaking it down. How much is that a week? Imagine that. Catering manager, $42,000 a year. Now, some of these majors are surprising because they are popular majors, but they don't make any money. And again, all I'm trying to do is to inform you that they don't make any money. Know that going in before you invest all this. And number 3 is nutrition, which is it takes in a dietitian, $53,000, food service manager, $56,000, food scientist, $64,000 a year. Psychology, human, this is not a good major for making money. Psychology, a major, and there's a lot of those. Human services worker, a median income is $22,000. A career counselor, higher education, median salary $43,000, and bereavement coordinator. And all these are necessary, but I want to remind you, you can have more than one job. And you know what? You shouldn't have more than one job because you have to, but because you choose to. So my point is, before you invest in a 4-year program to come out making no more money than this, know that going in and be prepared that although I am equipped with a college degree, it's not going to make the grade. I need to do something else as well. I'm here to help you. Sometimes reality can be a little uncomfortable maybe, but we're here to help you. And happiness is contingent upon your happenings. It's not too late to make some changes. I also want to mention, we're about out of time. Another thing I want to mention, hopefully before we are out of time on the podcast today, number 1 most non-earned for the investment, return on the investment in higher education, communications. A copywriter makes $52,000. News reporters, that's a whole nother subject. $37,000 a year. Marketing coordinators, $50,000 a year. So my point is, if you're going to invest in higher education, know that when you're done with it, you may not be making so much money. I also want to note that among these that I listed that are not a good investment in a major in college as far as a financial return, none of these are the trades. None of these are the hands-on welder, plumber, carpenter, mason, because those are money makers, baby. Those are money makers. Live and let live, be free and set other people free, and apply a high energy pursuit toward happiness. Tussey out.